I was never a reader and only became one in the last 10 years or so, but today I'm going to be sharing my favorite 5 reads for business and personal development for this summer. Hey ladies, it's Amanda. Welcome to the Feel Amazing Naked podcast. This is a show where we dig deep, get honest, and talk about all the unsexy steps it takes to meet your goals. Whether you want to get fit, eat healthier, make more money, start a business, or any other results you desire in your life. Most of all, this podcast is for women who are ready to feel amazing naked on the outside and the inside. So ladies, time to take it off. Welcome ladies to another episode of the podcast. I am kind of just rolling out of bed, and so I still have like that sleepy, groggy, ruffly tone to my voice. So bear with me, and you'll probably hear it evolve the more I talk and sip on my hot coffee. And as we hit summer, I thought it would be really fun and also intentional to talk about some of the, books, reads that have highly influenced me over the last 6 years of life. And some are business reads that I'm going to share, most of which are impactful no matter if you are an entrepreneur or not. Before I dive into that, I also want to share something new that I have started offering in coaching. I love the idea of coming together with people live. By the way, through COVID, I'm just missing that and wanting more connection in person. And so I have started offering Business in a Day, which is basically you and I, we come together in a beautiful Airbnb with all these great foods all day, and we drill down on your business. So if you don't have a business and you want to, then we would basically design it front to back that entire day, from understanding your ideal client to working on messaging to creating a no-brainer offer to marketing strategy, so you leave ready to go take action. If you're already in business and you want to take your business to the next level, then we will do the same thing. We will audit the business, I will, before, and kind of look at what are the next best steps that are going to help you move in the direction that you desire. Also, if you can't fly in or you're not local, no big deal. We can do this on Zoom as well. I think it's a really nice offer for somebody who just wants to get in there and have all of this support in a day. And for those of you that sign on, I will also offer Voxer access for 30 days after the meeting, so you can come to me with any specific questions. But it's great if you have really tactical tech questions or social media questions or things like that, and we can sit side by side or in the moment over via Zoom, and I can support you with that. So if you have any questions and you think, this is it for me, this is an amazing way to propel my business forward, you can visit feelamazingnaked.com/let's chat, LETSCHAT. That's a direct link to my calendar. Schedule a time. We'll talk about it, talk about all the details, and take it from there. All right. So let's go into books. I want to tell you that I was never a reader. I didn't go through high school and college yay, I'm so excited to sit down and read a book. And so really kind of when I started my own personal development journey years ago is when I really fell into reading and realized how much I loved it. And before that, I was reading here and there, like the Harry Potter series or the 50 Shades of Grey series. And those books were really fun. And then I kind of took a liking to I want to get more out of the book and really explore myself a little bit more. And so today I'm going to share the 5 favorites. I'm also going to give some bonus ones that I feel like I couldn't hop off and not talk about, first off. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about the book so and it's not just a blind read. And then you can take notes, and everything that I mentioned, by the way, we'll put the direct links in the show notes. I'll actually probably just drop the link to my Amazon store because I put all of my favorite books inside my Amazon store so that anybody can easily access them. All right, so let's go. Book number 1. And I'm just going to start off with my most favorite, the most impactful for me, and that is The Big Leap. And the author is Gay Hendricks. And really, this book right now is actually what we're reading inside my inner circle, which is my high level mastermind. And what I boil this whole book down to is further understanding these hidden barriers that are holding you back from success. And this is not a business book exclusively. He talks about health examples in here. He talks about business examples. He talks about relationship examples. But what I like about it is I really identify with it. But one of the things you'll hear me often talk about is upper limit problems. And upper limit problems is when you are having success in your life and these good things are coming, and then all of a sudden something comes crashing into you and you're like, what's happening? I just felt so good and now I feel so crappy. And he explores really the understanding of what upper limit problems are so you can be aware of them and you can call them out. And really that the more success you have in your life, the more that this becomes apparent. And so he also dives deeper into these 4 hidden barriers that you may not even know that you have, that are stopping you from feeling and finding the success that you feel like is inevitable for you, or that not that you feel is inevitable, that you think is possible for you. And he calls them out. You can see yourself inside them. He gives so many examples that are like mind-blowing examples. And I've seen these inside my own clients. But what I love is I walked away from this book with such a deeper sense of self-awareness to call myself out on some of these hidden barriers that were coming up for me that I was unaware of. And it kind of cracked open my mind when it came to exploring my thought work, exploring the connection between my thoughts and my reality in life, and exploring my energy and how my energy impacts what I have in my life. So I think this is a must read. And by the way, it's like 200 pages, paperback, super accessible and easy. And I think that this book is phenomenal. So there's number 1. I have all of these books in front of me, by the way, while I am sharing with you so I can touch them, hold them, and really feel like all the good stuff that I found from them I can offer you. The next one is a business book, and it is called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. One of the greatest errors that I see when I coach clients in the beginning with business is their messaging. There's a disconnect between what they want to convey and the message that actually gets conveyed to their audience. And when we're not talking directly to our ideal client, then our ideal client doesn't necessarily know that they have a home with us, that this is a place for us to be. And often the simple reason is because we're so in the bottle. We know everything so well that we're talking above where our client is when they come to us. So we're using our language instead of their language. And so inside this book, Donald Miller, genius, you can actually do he used to, when I read this, he did a whole download that allows you to have a guide as you walk through this book. And I think that's really, really important. But he walks you through essentially what we call the hero's journey. It's like there's a customer, they have a problem, they meet you, the guide, who gives them a plan, calls them up to take action, and helps them avoid this pain and failure that's possible, and taking them to this ultimate success. And so the whole book helps you get really, really clear on why people want you to be their hero and why people need your attention, need to be seen and heard. And he even walks through at the end how to improve your website design using these messages. I think this book is so fantastic for an introductory learning and understanding of client messaging and why the foundation of your business truly is built on client messaging. You're going to use it on your social media posts. You're going to use it on your website. You're going to use it on your sales pages, your opt-in pages. All of these places, messaging happens. Inside my business accelerator, this is why we spend so much time in the beginning on getting clear on who our avatar is that we're speaking to and how to go out and do market research to collect their words. Because then when we give their words back to them, they're like, oh yeah, that's me. I say that. Then unconsciously they are attracted to the thing that you are offering. And the Story Brand book, he does an amazing job helping us understand that. And he calls it the 7 elements of great storytelling to grow your business, which essentially is the hero's journey. Again, the link below in the show notes. Okay, this next book I actually just read within the last 3 months for the very first time. I wish I would have discovered this book years ago. It's totally transformed my mind. And if you look at it, it's it's simple, which is great. But it's called 100 Million Offers, and it's by Alex Hormozi. By the way, he is on Instagram. His Instagram I love. He is just putting out content that's super valuable. So if you are a business owner, this is a business book. I definitely encourage you to check it out. His Instagram Essentially though, the whole notion of this book boils down to how to make offers so good that people feel stupid saying no. This is often one of the greatest mistakes. I'm going to be recording an episode about this, is that we think that just because we're a coach, consultant, service provider, that us merely existing is going to bring people to us to purchase our service or our product. And the answer is that is not true. So what we have to do is actually create an offer that really is positioned to combat some of the psychological responses to being sold to, right? In general, people struggle with making decisions around selling because they have so many objections. And so us as the creators, what we want to do is just make offers for our clients that are just so easy to say yes to. And this book walks you through how to create your offer specifically, how to understand how to piece it together and how to present it so that it seems super appealing to the audience that you're selling to. And one of the things that he does inside is he really breaks down guarantees. He talks a lot about guarantees kind of crush the fear and the risk for people purchasing a product or service. So if we know we get into it and it doesn't work for us, that there is some sort of guarantee. And a guarantee doesn't have to be a money back guarantee. A guarantee could be, as a coach, like you'll give them personal one-to-one attention if they don't understand, or you'll give them more access to more modules, or you'll let them stick around until they have the specific result you're offering. For me, it really pivoted my thoughts around guarantees, and he gives a plethora of examples on various types of guarantees that you could find and maybe apply to your own business. The other thing that he talks about inside here is when we sell, we tend to nervous talk and talk about all the things that we're going to offer inside of our sell when our client only cares about the result. And so to shift our thinking around how we sell is to really focus on the result that we're bringing to the person and not necessarily the how of how we're going to walk them to get there. So this book was a super quick read for me, and he has a really cool backstory. He's an entrepreneur, of course, an investor, but he and his wife had a massive portfolio of companies, over $100 million in value. And he started a lot of his work in replicating gyms, but he talks about hitting rock bottom and having no money coming in, and how he and she pivoted from there. So I love a good underdog story, and he talks about it inside this book. Okay, book number 4. We talked about The Big Leap, Story Brand, $100 million offer. And now number 4 is Joey Coleman's Never Lose a Customer Again. Whew, this book was fantastic. I read it several years into business. Again, another book I wish I would have read before a few years into business, but they all come to you at the time that you're needing them. But this particular book is all focused on customer service and how to keep those customers as not just customers, but also super fans of your work, right? The warmest clients you have are the clients that you have, not the new ones that haven't yet purchased from you. And so this book really does an amazing job at giving ideas and support around how to nurture the client-provider relationship. So how to do things such as, warm client gifts. Are you nurturing the moment they hit purchase? He talks a lot about the moment somebody says yes to your product or service is right when that buyer's remorse comes in. Think about it when you buy a new car and you drive off the lot and you're like, oh crap, should we have done that? Or if you buy a new house, those really big purchases, you feel it. But the same applies to smaller investments and purchases. Even a $7 pair of socks, sometimes we experience that. And so he talks about how to mitigate that experience and many ideas on how to be with your people right in that moment so they feel held and they feel seen and heard as you walk them through their journey. The other thing that I like that he talks a lot about in this is partnerships and relationships and how to create a network of people that, you can be their go-to resource around referrals and how to create referrals with your existing clients so that they keep sending more people to you. And you can do this in a very organic way. You can assign a dollar amount to it, right? In the business world, we call that affiliate relationships or partner relationships. But he's truly, as the name implies, or the book title implies, he's teaching us how to nurture the clients so much that they stick around for a lifetime. And that's not just a paid client, but after the service has ended with you, that they are just such a lover and a fan of your work that they don't want to go anywhere else for the service that you provide. This is when I started making a lot of changes in my business, little nurturing changes that I just didn't know what I didn't know. And inside, again, my business programs, we really look at the client experience, the client's journey from the moment they find you in whatever way, a podcast, the internet, what are you providing for them in value so that they can continue to feel supported and nurtured by you. And some will become paying clients and some will never. But still, that's why I have this podcast, is I recognize that not everybody that listens will become a client, but the goal for my life is to create impact and to create value for people. And this way is free value for as many people as possible to consume, so that they walk away feeling like, she gets me. Her content changes me. Her content provides me insight. Her content provides me an opportunity to keep growing. And so this book is a really powerful tool, I think, to help nurture and support that aspect of business that you might be possibly missing, like I was. Again, just being real. All right, so let's go to book number 5. I really had a hard time, if I'm being honest, choosing which 5th book that really struck me, because there's a couple that I wanted to like put a 10 list together, but I thought, man, that's like too overwhelming. And so what I decided to do is I am going to talk to you about this book, and then I'm going to give a couple just quick mentions. So the next one I love, which is an old school book, is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And this book, as the name applies, it helps us understand some of the core teachings to help people like you, or to help understand how to bring people closer to your work. And something as simple as just like smiling more, and something as simple as being a great listener, but also the reminders of when we're in social circles. So I don't think this is just a business book, by the way. This is for all of us, but it's really for me about how to move away in business specifically from the sale. Sometimes as people, we're like, we want the sale. And we forget the most important part, which is the people. And so this book helps redirect towards that. So things like becoming genuinely interested in people and their interests, and how to make others feel important, and the power of saying someone's name, which actually is mentioned in the last 2 books, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And also inside of Joey Coleman's book, they did some research on people and watched some of like what parts of their brain get lit up under like by saying which words. And hands down, the brain lit up the most for the majority of people when their name was called, when their name was mentioned. So it's like the most common word that we identify with. And so can we light up our people's brains when we're talking to them on a sales call, or in a call, or just in general when they're sending them an email? And I loved this book for that reason. It helps really put the energy back towards the people. And he talks, I think, about the 3 main principles of influencing people and growing to love people and to have friends. I'm not going to give those away on this, but I think you should go read it, because I think it's a really powerful reminder for all of us. There's a couple like honorable mentions I want to throw out there. One is the Profit First book. Profit First is a powerful book about finances inside of business, and it's written by Mike Michalowicz. And he just talks about this simple kind of bucket method of making sure from day one in your business, no matter how little you're making, you're paying yourself. Because one of the things that happens is we get into business, and I don't see this as much in the coaching world because the overhead is so minimal unless you're investing in a ton outside of yourself. And we're in the negative. And so we spend years in the negative trying to make a business work when we've not paid ourselves a dime. And so he talks about how to make sure that this never happens. So this book is fantastic for that. The One Thing by Gary Keller is a great book, because what it does, like, in business specifically, there's a lot of squirrels. And I see this in lifestyle changes too. We want to change all the things at once. And so as the name implies, what he says is like, let's focus on one thing and get really great at it before we move on to the next thing. And then I think one last honorable mention that I would offer is Old School Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book was like redone. It's just powerful to think. It's like, I would say, one of the grandfathers of personal development. It's a short read, and I think it is an amazing read as well. So if you're going on vacation, you're chilling by the pool, you have more downtime, or in general, you're just looking for a book to add to your library, those are my top 5 reads right now, or of all time so far, I guess. And these are personal development business books. I didn't add in any other just for fun books necessarily this time, but I do love those as well. If you have any questions about the books, or you've read them or want to talk about them, I love to shop around book reads. Feel free to send me a message on Instagram at @awalkmyway. That's the place that I am most active. Check out my Instagram. I'm going to be sharing more about the books throughout the week. as always, I am so grateful that you are here, and I hope summer is treating you well. The Feel Amazing Naked podcast is growing, literally doubling downloads every single month, and it's humbling, but really it's all because of you. So I just want to say thank you for listening and continuing to listen. Help us grow by sharing the Feel Amazing Naked podcast on your social media platform. If you're listening to an episode, take a screenshot, share it in your story, on your social, tag me, leave a review if you feel so inclined, but please allow me to help more women by sharing the awesome content that I create. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me.